So I started by cornrowing the first half of my head off camera, and now I'm going to do the second half. But first I'm going to take my Murray's braid detangler and just detangle my hair, because it's just gonna make this process go a whole lot easier for me when I start braiding. So I'm just going in with my Denman brush. So I had to do my hard part off camera because I was kind of struggling. I am going to clean it up eventually, but right now I'm just going to section it off, and I'm going to cornrow my hair back, and I'm going to do 2 cornrows in the front, and they're not going to be like even, but that's understandable since I did have to create my hard part. And now I'm just going to go in with my shine and jam just so I can have some crisp parting, and also so I can have these braids look as neat as possible. I haven't really perfected the stitch braiding on my own hair, so I pretty much sectioned out one piece in the beginning, and I kind of pinched my fingers together as I was cornrowing to just give the illusion of stitch braids, even though they're not like completely obvious, but I just made it work. So now that I created those 2 cornrows, I am going to go in and focus on this heart part, and I am going to split this in 2 sections to give that heart illusion, and just put it right down the middle. And I just kind of like took my time with this because I wanted this to look as natural and as heart shaped as possible. And now I'm just gonna go take my comb and part this diagonally at the top, and this is gonna also create kind of like a Y in between the heart, so that's how you know you're doing it the right way. And I'm just going to section this part off, and I am going to begin braiding just along the hairline. As you can see, I'm about to start braiding and just going around, just creating that first half of the heart, and also going in with my shine and jam so this can look as neat as possible. And you also want to make sure that like you're really braiding like a little bit tighter when doing this. I tried to braid tight, but I didn't want it too tight because I will get a headache. So yeah. Now for this second half, I did slow it down and keep it at normal speed, and I'm pretty much doing the same thing that I was doing on the other side. And the way that I knew I was doing this right is when I had created a Y in between like this heart, so that way I know I'm like really getting this heart shape. And I really just took my time going around braiding my hair for this section because it did have to look a certain way and I did not want to mess up. to take my pre-stretch braiding hair and I'm going to add this to my braids. So I'm pretty much undoing like the bottom of my braid where like the nape of my neck is, and I'm going to add in hair. I do not really know how to do feed-ins that well, so I'm really glad that I didn't have to do feed-ins throughout my whole head for this process and just for the bottom for the length to create my bun. But I just kind of like took my time doing this part. Even though it didn't look the neatest, I did my best. So for this part, I am going to repeat the same step for all the other braids. I am not going to braid this all the way down because I am going to use flexi rod to get the curly look for my bun. So I am going to tie this off with a rubber band once I get around my shoulder. Now for my heart part, I am doing the same thing with the feed-ins. I am feeding in the hair on the side just to add additional length, and so I can eventually like add beads on the end too. But for the first time, it did not come out right, so I ended up doing it over again off camera. So the final look at the end looks completely better than what I'm showing you now. So I did add flexi rod to get my curly buns, but I ended up not even doing this and just using freetress hair. And this ended up being the final look.
Oh, this is the final look, and I'm obsessed. Like, I'm obsessed. Like, it came out so cute. And you know, this is my first time doing this style and attempting to do feed-in braids, so I think I did a good job for my first time. So instead of like doing like the curly ends with the braiding here, I ended up putting in some freetress hair because the curls just look so much better. But other than that, like, this style is so cute and it came out just the way I wanted. Thank you for watching, but before we go, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and please turn on that post notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. So bye guys.